Hello, in this video, we are going to figure out how to use some common acid-base indicators. So you will need to have table M handy. All right, here we have table M, which gives us some common acid-base indicators. Now there are hundreds of different acid-base indicators. These are the 6 that the state has chosen to put on the reference table. So these are the 6 that we will have questions on. The way this works is you find whatever indicator they're talking about. So let's say we are working with brome crescel green. See how you have 2 numbers and 2 colors. You want to think about this like the pH scale, 0 to 14. If your pH is 3.8 or less, it is going to be the first color listed. So it would be yellow. If it is 5.4 or greater, then it would be the second color listed, so that would be blue. If it's in between, then it would be in between the 2 colors. So in this particular case, it would be green. All right, let's look at a different one. Let's look at methyl orange. Again, first number or less, it's the first color listed. So if the pH is 3.1 or less, it will turn red. If it is 4.4 or greater, it will turn yellow. If the pH was somewhere in between the 2, then it would be a mix of the 2. In this case, that would be orange. This chart here just shows you a nice visual about what we were talking about on the previous slide. Again, if we take a look at methyl orange, and if it's 3.1 or less, it will turn red. And then if the pH is in between, it's orange. And then second number, which would be 4.4 or more, that's where it turns yellow. So this just kind of shows you that it's a little bit of a sliding scale in between. This one more time is an explanation of how the numbers and colors work. So if the pH is below the first number, it would be the first color. Second number or more, it will be the second color. If it's in between, it would be in between. Now we have some examples. So example number 1, what color will thymol blue? So we got to make sure that we're looking at the appropriate thing. So we got to make sure that we are looking here at thymol blue. What color will thymol blue be if the pH was 6.5? Okay, 6.5 is below that first number. So therefore it would have to be the first color. So it would be yellow. Second one, what color will methyl orange turn? So we're looking at methyl orange now. If the pH is 7, so 7 is greater than 4.4. 4.4 was the second number, so this one would also be yellow. Third example, what color will phenolphthalein turn in an acid? So if we have an acid, we have to be 7. We have to be below 7. So that would be below 8. So therefore, it would be colorless or clear. Here is our last example, and this is a lot like what we did in the lab that 3rd period and 9th period did on our last day of classes. 1st period, you unfortunately did not get to do this lab. Okay, so you did a bunch of different indicators and then together use that information to come up with an approximate pH for your unknown. So you're going to combine the litmuses together, because litmus, we have red paper and blue paper, and you have to test it with both. So both were red. So the red stayed red, the blue turned to red. So what that tells us is the pH is somewhere between 0 and 4.5. So we can make a number line. So if this is my pH scale, that's 14, that's 7. Right now, I know my pH is somewhere, I'm going to switch to a different color. My pH is somewhere between 0, and 4.5. Okay, I want to try to narrow down that range with these other indicators. All right, thymo blue, yellow. So I look at my table. If thymo blue turns yellow, what that tells me is my pH is something below 8. So that was actually no use whatsoever, because I still would say now my pH is 0 to 4.5 because that's where they overlap. All right, methyl orange was yellow. So what that tells us is our pH is greater than 4.4. So my pH is 4.4 all the way up to 14. So that was super helpful because now my 3 lines show up just in this narrow range of 4.4 to 4.5. So that would be the approximate pH range for my solution. Now, often we do not get that narrow of a range. Usually the range is a little bit bigger, but the idea is the same.